we supplicate or perpetuate or pray, pray is not what many of the Malaysians here think. Fold your hands, shake it in front of a deity, you pray. That's not pray. Pray means to open yourself. Who you are, what you are, and how you are inside, to open and surrender to a higher force. When you open and surrender to that higher force, you reveal yourself. When you reveal yourself, you face yourself. When you face yourself, you can come across the difficulties that you have. So the fears that you have can be eradicated and addressed and eradicated. The good points you have in you can grow and blossom even bigger. So when you open yourself to a higher force, it's very powerful self-therapy. That higher force can be a trained psychologist, a trained therapist, who knows how to talk, who knows how to gently get information from you for you to examine yourself. That higher force can be a spiritual teacher. It doesn't necessarily have to be Buddhist. Not necessarily, definitely not. There are compassionate teachers of all religions who sincerely help others from a compassionate mind, not bias. That higher force can be our mother. That higher force can be our father. That higher force can be a friend that's known us for a long, long time. That higher force can be a Buddha. That higher force can be ourselves, reading psychology or self-help or some kind of book that helps us to understand ourselves better. So that higher force can be many, many faces. Many, many faces. But in this case, the highest force is that of an enlightened mind. A mind that is free from anything that can fetter or trap or drag it down to a lower level. So that would be a Buddha mind. A Buddha mind doesn't necessarily have to be an Oriental or Asian deity. Doesn't have to be like that. A higher force is represented by these deities that we see here. In fact, the actual deities don't even look like what we have here. They're much more glorious, much more splendorous, and much more beautiful. These are just representations of the higher force. So for new people here, when you pray to the statue, I want you to remember, you are not praying to the statue. You are using the statue to remind you of a higher force, to remind you of an enlightened being. And you're praying to that enlightened force. Dual. A, you're praying to the enlightened force outside, which has gained enlightenment. And B, you are supplicating the enlightened force within you. In you, you have the energy to become an enlightened being. You are supplicating that. So when we pray to the Buddhas, we are opening ourselves up. We are surrendering ourselves up. Surrender means what? Mindless robots? Mindless slaves? No. Surrender means what? And I want to make this very clear for my friends here. Surrender means you do not lose free will. You do not become mindless or idiotic. Surrender here means to reveal and open your faults. To open and reveal your failures. To open and reveal your mistakes. To open and reveal your negative actions of the past. Why? As long as we keep these things hidden. As long as we keep these things hidden, they will haunt us. How do they haunt us? They haunt us by what we call habituation. We are haunted. You know, Malaysians are very, very scared of hantus. Very scared. You just tell someone, hey, I saw something, I felt something, that they're like, are you really young? They immediately run the other direction. You tell any Malaysian, any, I don't care if they're big ones, small ones, fat ones, male, female, any Malaysian you tell, got ghost, got hantu, immediately they run. Immediately. All of them. There are one or two freaky Malaysians who actually invite them. I won't tell you who they are. I dare not, because then you'll avoid this weirdo. There are one or two freaky Malaysians who invite them, who want to be their friend, who ask them to even go inside of them. Can you imagine asking hantus to go inside of you? So can you imagine yourself inside? Just visualize yourself inside. Hi, hantu. Hello. How are you? I'm fine. I'm gonna hit you. I'm gonna get you now. Oh, are you? Now what do I do? I don't know, but I'm gonna kill you. Oh. Maybe I'll look for lava. Do what you want. Can you imagine the hantu inside of you? Having this conversation inside of you, and there's two of you inside of one body. Some of you two hantus can fit. Where's Loki? Yeah. That one, two hantus can fit, maybe 2.5 or 3. People like me, only one can fit because I'm very thin under all this. Very, very thin. Now, some people actually invite these hantus, invite these spirits. And they want them to help them or talk to them or do things. And sometimes they even set up altars to hantus, or wear little pendants, or do little magic spells, or do little prayers to these hantus. Very scary. Very, very scary. My point is, when we pray, let me define prayer for you. You're new. You made the effort to be here. You made the effort to come here. Let me give you education. Let me give you spiritual knowledge. That's what you're here for. Whether you consider yourself Buddhist or not, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter at all. It's just a label. Whether you consider me a high lama or a nobody also doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. If I'm a high lama, you don't think I'm a high lama, I'm still a high lama. If I'm not a high lama and you think I'm a high lama, I'm still not a high lama. So it doesn't matter what you think. So if you think a high lama should act like this, talk like this, and do like this, and I don't act and talk and do like that, too bad for you and me. If you think a high lama talk, act, and do like this, and I match what you think, good for you, good for me. In the end, it doesn't matter. In the end, when you leave this room tonight, when you leave this room, you have to get knowledge. Do not make this another go to the temple, offer some incense, and do some cheap chanting, and do a little bit of cheap prayer, and then you just disappear. Don't do that. Make today worthwhile. How do you make today worthwhile? By me sharing with you spiritual knowledge. That is my job. What will you do with this spiritual knowledge? Hopefully, when you leave here, when you walk down and you leave here, some of the darkness in your mind has gone away. Some of the ignorance, meaning darkness, has gone away. Also, more knowledge has come so that hopefully if you engage in real spiritual practice, you will get somewhere. Do you want to go to the temple for another 10 years, 15 years, 20 years in the heat, chanting, not knowing what you're chanting, praying to some statue, not getting any knowledge? 20, 30 years later, you're still frustrated, you still don't understand, you still don't know what's going on? Of course not. In Buddhism, it's very much treasured that the teacher gives knowledge to those who attend the teachings. And the way I give knowledge is very different. I don't tell you what to do. I don't say you sit down like this, you put your hands like this, you put your feet like that, you use this mala, you use this rosary, you have this book. I don't tell you that because those are all superficial. Those you can figure out on your own. What I tell you is the basis of your mind. What I explain to you is how your mind functions, how your mind operates, how your mind creates happiness and unhappiness. And I tell you in different angles. I tell you in different methods. I tell you in different perspectives, and I tell you on different levels. Hopefully, why? When you get that knowledge, when you leave here, your spiritual practice will grow. So whether you think of me as your guru, or root guru, or no guru, or whatever, it doesn't matter also. Doesn't matter. So high lama, low lama, I'm your guru. I'm traditional. I'm not traditional. Who cares? That's your projection. You believe a Lama should look like this. You believe a Lama should talk like this. You believe a Lama should act like this. That's what you believe. That's what you see on TV, the magazines. That's what you see on the cheap posters. That's what you see. That's your projection. That's what you believe. And also how Lamas act 100 years ago, 200 years ago, 300 years ago, now has to be different. Has to be different. And if I was traditional Lama, many of you will run away. Many of you. You think you can take traditional Lama? Then you have to be traditional students. If you want a traditional Lama, you have to be a traditional student. And you know what a traditional student means? Cooperation, doing what the Lama says, not talking back, not being disrespectful, offering up your wealth, offering up your commitment, meaning you offer up your full commitment. Do you think you're traditional? I don't think so. You know what traditional means? It means that even in a room, you're not allowed to sit on a chair, touch your legs, or fold, or twist, or talk during a Dharma talk. That's what traditional means. How do I know? I come from a traditional monastery. I have 14 lamas, 14 root masters. Trust me, I didn't sit on a chair playing with my feet or playing with my arms or twisting here and there or looking for a better seat. I didn't ask if there was air conditioning. I didn't ask if the place was comfortable. I didn't talk or move or twist my limbs at all. And those teachings went on between 10 to 12 to 14 hours a day, and that goes on for 20 years. So do you think you can be traditional? So hence, if you cannot be traditional, why do you want your Lama to be traditional? That's why you got me. You're not traditional. Why are you not traditional? Because you want spiritual practice. But you want it according to your culture, your upbringing, your understanding, and how you feel you can incorporate into your life. You see, when you enter spiritual practice, in my case, you're not trying to be a Tibetan. You're not trying to be a Himalayan person. You're not trying to be someone from Nepal or India. You're trying to take the ancient, vast knowledge that Buddha taught and incorporate it into your life. So therefore, in today's world, non-traditional method, for me, I find much more easier to approach people. Easier to talk to people. Easier to be with people. Easier. Why is that? You break across barriers. If we did it in a traditional way, you will be stuck in all the protocol, in all the etiquette, in all the manners. You'll be stuck in all sorts of Tibetan traditional etiquette and manners. I don't think you could take it. But those etiquette and manners have a purpose. They are in order to develop self-restraint. When we show respect to our lamas in body, speech, and mind, the main purpose is not cultural. The main purpose is to show self-restraint. When we can be self-restraining in front of our lamas, we'll be able to be self-restraining around other people. If we are not even able to be respectful to our lamas and teachers and masters, how will we be like that to everybody else? Why? We respect everybody else even less. So, in today's world, there are many different types of lamas out there. Many types. Many, and the lamas are very, very compassionate, and they're very, very kind. I know that personally because they have many different types of people to teach. So they show many different types of outer appearance and many different types of methods. So it's very important for all of us not to judge or to look at the outer appearance or to judge at the outer behavior. We have to see what the message that the teacher is teaching. The message. Is the teacher teaching us how to be rich? Is the teacher teaching us how to be beautiful? Is the teacher teaching us how to fight and be ugly and be mean? Is the teacher teaching us how to stir politics or create sectarianism? Or is the teacher stressing and teaching us how to be kind, how to forgive, how to create harmony, how to create awareness, how to push ourselves to become a person that other people will be happy to be around, and also we we'll be happy to be around ourselves. We must check the message of the teacher, not the method. Not the method, not the outer appearance. Why is that? I'm finding an excuse for myself to be wild, crazy. No. I am going to be what I am. No one is accountable for my karma. I am accountable for my own karma. I know my own karma. Does anyone think they know more than I do regarding karma? Does anybody think they know more than I do regarding behavior, according to morals, according to the vows, according to monk vows, according to tantric or bodhisattva vows? We can talk about it. We can debate. No problem. So therefore, my point is this is, when we supplicate and we pray to the Buddhas, when we supplicate, when we pray to the Buddhas, it is to open our pain, open our fears, open what we've been hiding for many years inside. If you don't open, then whatever you have fears, whatever you're hiding, or whatever, inverted commas, mistakes or negative actions you have done inside, it will grow, it will grow, it will grow, it will become bigger, and the habituation will be very difficult to cut. So what happens in the end, even we want to change, we want to transform, we want to be a different person, we want to be beneficial, we're not able to. We are stuck in our habituations. Why are we stuck in our habituations? Why? Because we have never opened up our fears. We have never ever surrendered our fears. Some people focus on physical appearance because inside they don't have much knowledge. Inside they don't have much knowledge, they don't have much exposure, they can't affect or effect many people outside. So they don't want you to focus on the inside, they make you focus on the outside. Why? They want love, they want acceptance, they want care. They want that. Everybody wants. I want. Everybody wants love, care, and acceptance. So they have nothing on the inside, so they try to focus on the outside. So some people, nothing much on the outside, they try to focus on the inside. And they focus and they push themselves on the inside. What I'm trying to say is, when we pray, when we open our hearts and we fold our hands and we put our thumbs inside representing a wish-fulfilling jewel, our aspirations, our wish-fulfilling jewel is our aspirations. Why? Aspirations eventually become manifestations. They openly manifest what we have prayed for. So when we fold our hands and we make aspirations, aspirational prayers to the enlightened beings such as the Buddhas, we are creating affinity. Listen carefully. When we do our prayers, when we pray, when we open up and we surrender, our negative points, me and you, all of us, all have negative points. We have good and we have bad. The bad we don't need to surrender because we want to. The bad we need to surrender. The good we don't need to surrender. We don't need to. Example, in the house, you want to sweep out the cockroaches and dust and all the mites and all the cobwebs, right? You don't want to sweep out your diamonds and your gold and your Mercedes car keys. You want to sweep out your FD bonds. You don't want to sweep that out, right? Similarly, when you sweep things out, you sweep out the bad. You keep the good and you increase the good. So when we pray to the Buddha, it is not reciting holy words. Kichara House Buddhist Organization has beautiful, beautiful prayer books, beautiful prayer book that has traditional prayers translated into English. And they are very, very wonderful for us to do every single day. And they are very powerful mantras. And how we make those prayers come true, how we make the mantras effective, here's the secret, is to open our faults, open our wounds, open our fears, and surrender up to the Buddha. Our wife may not know, our husband may not know, our friends may not know, and people around us may not know. And our teachers may pretend they don't know what's going on in us. Maybe like that. Maybe like that. But my point is, when we pray, we have to surrender our pain, our fear, and our insecurities up to the Buddhas. How do we do that? A, by self-reflection, meditation, contemplation on what our fears are, where they arise from, how they come. You can be your own therapist. How do we do that? The more Dharma teachings we read, the more Dharma teachings we listen to, the more Dharma teachings we read and listen and think about, that becomes our therapy. That becomes our therapist. Dharma is therapy. Listening to Dharma will give us a very powerful therapist. A therapist or a psychologist that can help us must go for intense training. 6 to 8 years of intense training or study or university. Similarly, if an intense psychologist or psychiatrist or a therapist must go for that kind of training in order to unlock the secrets of the mind on a superficial level, if we want to be our own therapist, do you think you can attend Dharma teachings once a month? Or you attend half asleep? Or you think you can attend that your mind is your body is here, but your mind is thinking about what when I have for supper after this? Cannot. So if you are here 100%, if you are here 100% and you open up and you listen, when you listen to Dharma, when you get Dharma knowledge, you create your own therapist inside of you. You create. With this therapist, it is not saying that you're crazy or you're bad. It is saying that it is someone very powerfully trained within your own consciousness that can help you to push yourself to the next level, to the next level, to the next level. So when there's a Dharma talk, traditional Buddhist countries will flock for it. Traditional. Why? That's how you get knowledge. Chanting and meditating is wonderful. But if you don't know Dharma, what are you chanting about? What are you meditating about? You can train a 3, 4, 5-year-old child to chant. It doesn't mean they're doing spiritual practice. You can teach a parrot to recite mantras. Doesn't mean the parrot is going to be a Buddha. So are we a parrot? Are we a child? No. So therefore, it's very important to make time and effort toward Dharma teachings. It's very, very important to make our priorities. We listen to Dharma teachings. We make it there. And we also are in the right frame of mind. We've eaten something. We're clean. We're pleasant. To make our minds comfortable to listen. It's very important. It's very important to do supplementary research, meaning at home, you also do reading. You also do not one chapter a year. I know some people, the books cannot even open anymore, already stuck together from years of no use. Why should you get that knowledge? Because it'll help you. Who goes to university and gets a degree by never studying their books? This is even higher. So therefore, you can be your own therapist. How can you be your own therapist? How? By getting knowledge. By getting a yardstick to compare your mind to. If you have a yardstick to compare your mind to, it is not a comparison to put yourself down. Oh dear, I feel guilty. I didn't do that, so I'm not going to listen to the teachings. I'm not going to go see my teacher. I'm not going to go pray. I'm not going to go chant because I feel guilty. Every time I open up, every time I listen, every time I hear, it makes me feel guilty. That's ridiculous. That's twisted, perverted learning. People who say, I don't want to attend Dharma, I don't want to do Dharma actions or Dharma practice, or I don't want to listen to Dharma teachings or attend because I feel guilty or makes me feel guilty, is absolutely another ego trip. Why is that? You're feeling guilty is because you're using the Dharma as a yardstick to show how bad you are. You don't need that. There are so many factors out there telling you how bad you are. You get a nice hairdo, you go look at some glossy magazine, you go, oh, someone's got a better hairdo, you suffer already. You go out there in your new Proton Waja, then some BMW drives by, you suffer. Right? Then you go to the gym, you work 3 hours, and you lose not even 1 kg. And then you see some skinny person walk by, feeding their face, eating chocolates, hamburgers, listening to music, and you ask them to go to the gym, they never go to the gym. You suffer. Think about it. You're suffering all the time. So we have enough measuring sticks out in the world to make us feel bad. We have enough measuring sticks out there to make us feel horrible. There's enough measuring sticks out there to make us feel that we're not doing what we're supposed to do. Dharma is not meant for that. If we take Dharma as someone that punishes us, if we take Dharma as someone that puts us down, and we always have to confess, and we always have to regret, we always have to feel guilty, we always have to keep our head down, we become a fanatic. Then you become one of these people, like in middle America, Tennessee or Alabama, they hold Bibles and tell you what you can do, what you cannot do, what you can do. They're doing everything themselves anyways. Or you have one of these people, one of these Buddhists who run out here and they hold their books, their Buddhist sutras, and like, You can't eat meat. You didn't do your 5 hours of chanting to Kuan Yin today? Why does your guru have hair? What sect do you belong to? What practice do you do? It's like a witch hunt. When you surrender to the guru, when you surrender to the Dharma, this is the secret here. And this is what you're going to share with your other friends. This is what you're going to share with yourself once and for all. When you surrender to your guru, when you surrender to a lineage, or you surrender to a Dharma teacher, you don't surrender your free will. You don't surrender yourself. You surrender your grasping and hiding and holding on to what hurts you. And therefore what hurts you makes you hurt other people because you can't let go.